Hey guys, welcome to this week's Fat Quarter Shop FlossTube. It's our week 10 and our final week in Quilter's Cottage. So I have loved seeing everything that all of you guys are sewing along, and I'm going to give you tips on framing. And at the very end, I have a big announcement. So you want to wait till the end, especially if you like Priscilla and Chelsea. So I'm just going to tease that. You have to wait till the end till I tell you. But okay, so we're gonna go over Quilter's Cottage, and I'm gonna show you like kind of how we finished it. So this is mine. And so if you look at mine up close, the only thing that I changed was the heart. I made the heart white instead of red, and I left all of everything else exactly the same as Lori had it. And it's okay to change, like whatever you want to change. Like Lori's okay with you changing anything. In fact, we saw one last night that Lori and I both loved. It was like aqua and navy, and it was awesome, and it's on our Kimberly Stitch Squad. So if you want to see it, it's very unique and I love it. So this is Lori's, and of course hers is exactly as the pattern. And then this is Denise's, and so she had a lot of fun changing it up. So she took the chimneys off because at her house we don't have chimneys. Like, I mean, in Texas you might, but like not a ton. And then she took the trees off, and then she made bluebonnets because we're in Texas and that's the state flower. And she did her words pretty fun. And the funny thing about Denise is she says she doesn't love pink, but I always see pink in everything. So, and hi to Denise's mom because we love you. So there is that. And so now we are gonna go over different tips on framing and different options. I want to give you different options, and we will have more videos on our channel about this in the future, but we just wanted to kind of start slow and walk you through maybe our way and Lori's way, and just give you some options so that you can have fun, or you can take it to a framer. Whatever you want to do, it's totally up to you. One of the things that Lori really thought out was how to make this cross-stitch design fit in a standard frame. So if you want to buy this frame, you can click in our Amazon shop below, and that will give you the frame. But the reason she did that is so that you can go and buy a frame at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Joann's or Amazon or wherever, and you can fit your piece in that and not have to spend a ton of money on framing. So we have thought that out. So I'm going to take hers apart, and we're gonna talk about how she put hers together. So on the back of this frame, it just has little black thingamajiggies. I don't know what they're called. You just push in and out, and a lot of times I just hurt myself. If you want to do that and do it where it doesn't hurt your fingers, you can use a flat head screwdriver, and that's about all I know about DIY is that. So I'm gonna walk you through how Lori did hers. So she got like a poster board for this, and for this she just took in the back of the frame. When you buy it, this goes on the very back, and it's black, and it's what you would put in the very back of your frame. So she just took this board and she laced it. So what you do with lace, and I'm gonna kind of show you. Sorry, we're gonna pretend like we're gonna frame mine. And I do leave my pieces on Q-snaps before I frame it so that it stays nice and flat. That's a question that I've gotten a lot, and it just keeps it from getting wrinkled. Fits nicely in my bag, so that way I don't have to fold it up. So this is mine. And if you're gonna do it this way, this is the lacing technique, you would need to have the edges serged so that there is something to grip onto. So what she did, we're gonna pretend this is the black piece in the back of the frame. Actually, I have that somewhere, I think. Here it is. Haha, magic. I have my my bag of tricks. So this is what comes, and then you would just take this little thing off if you wanted. So the first thing she did is you cut a piece of batting this exact size. This came out of your frame. We used 80/20 craft pack. They're or 36-inch squares, either one, but just a small pack. And we did 80-20 because it's lightweight. If you wanted to do something a little bit lighter, you could do 100% cotton. 80-20 is what I would definitely recommend because it's not gonna move a lot. Cotton can kind of shred, and poly's way too thick. So you take your batting and you cut it exactly the size of this board. And then what Lori did, and Lori is in the comments, so if y'all have questions, she can answer them because I was not there when she did this, but I'm doing my best to explain it. She used Aleene's glue, and she put the glue down, and then she put the batting on it, and she let it dry. So you gotta wait like a couple minutes, let it dry. And then, so you've got batting here, and you have this. So what she did is on the back, she did lacing. You see it?
I'm gonna zoom in.
So I'm gonna let Lily zoom in so you can really see her lacing. And the reason I'm not showing you lacing is because I can't do it and I've never done it. And I don't wanna ever pretend that I know how to do something I don't know how to do because y'all will be able to tell that I am clueless. So that's her lacing. And so it makes a lot of sense, and I can explain kind of what she did. So first you would iron. So I'm gonna give you some tips on ironing because I went ahead. So let me tell you how I'm gonna iron this on mine. I have 2 white towels from wherever, Home Goods, and I put 1 towel down. I always use white, and my kids know not to touch the white. And then I put this down, and then you can either iron here or you can put another towel on top, but you never want to iron on the front of your stitches. So I would, you know, you could iron here directly on the cloth, but not on your stitches. And then I would put my second white towel right on top and iron. So that's how I iron. So with lacing, what you can do is you take it and you figure out, okay, I've got 10 squares here, 10 squares here, it's even. You turn it over, and what she used is pearl cotton, which is thicker, and she used her big chunky needles that she uses with her crochet thread, and you start in the center and you lace all the way up. Then you go back to the center. So you go from the center up, stop, center down, stop, and then you go to the front, and if you need to move it a little bit, you can move it, you know, however you want because it's laced. There is no glue on her piece. Another thing is, none of this is, y'all might say, okay, this is not acid free, you know, blah, blah, blah. Nothing is glued down. So she might change this in a year and she might put this in a different frame. Well, she has the freedom to because there's no glue. It's just thread. All you have to do is cut. You could just cut that. So then after that, then you would do the same thing going this way. You would move it however you want. And then you would lace from the center to one side, stop, center to one side, and then kind of make sure you like it. And then you can tuck your corners in. I'm going to show you how you tuck your corners in. And we had done this. So like this is your corner. You can go like this. And it'll flatten it out. And then you can press that down. And then she laced diagonally. And so if I did this on a video, we would never finish the video, but it probably would take you an hour or 2 hours. But lacing gives you the freedom to move things around as you go and adjust, and it's very forgiving because there's no glue. And again, if Lori wants to put this in something else, it takes her 2 seconds to take it out. So that's the first part of what she did. The second part is she just took a poster board. It's just a poster board, so very thin. We have a poster board. Ours is a little bit thicker, but hers is thinner. And she put batting, the exact same size. So she cut, she cut her poster board the exact same size as this. Exact same size. So before she started, she cut her poster board. She did the same thing with Aleene's glue. Put glue down, put a batting so it's nice and soft. And then she put a fabric down. This is a fabric from her Farm Girl Vintage. And I'm just going to show you on the back how she did it. So she glued the back also. And so you can see how she mitered her corners. And then on the back, sorry, do I need to stay?
Oh yeah, just real quick.
Sorry, just tell me when to finish.
Okay.
And then she did this label. Do you want to read it, Lily, so I don't say it wrong?
Oh yeah. Quilter's Cottage, designed and stitched by Lori Holt of Bee in My Bonnet, January 2019, 10-count burlap vintage cloth, 6 strands of Orifloss thread.
So she just put this on a paper on her printer, and she got some scallop scissors or scallop rotary blade, I'm not sure which, cut it out and just glued this down. So when she puts it back in, you just put it back in, and it looks wonderful. And so this is a great way, you know, a lot of people talk about, you know, hobbies, they get expensive. So this is one way that we're trying to save all of you guys money, is by designing things that will fit in standard frame sizes. Obviously that can't happen every time, but it can happen a lot of the time. And so like what Lori was saying to me was, because I talk to her on the phone like every day, is like if she ever wanted to turn it into a pillow, she can just do that. Gives her freedom, there's no glue. So that is Lori's, and this is her new Bee's Knees book stand. Super cute. So there's that. And then we're gonna show you what Denise did. Okay, so we're gonna take Denise's apart. Same frame. And I've seen that a lot of you have bought the frame, so we hope you like the frame. We hope it, yeah, I love the vintage feel of it.
Where can they get the frame real quick?
So click on the link below, there's an Amazon store, you just click there, and it's all in, everything's in the links. And if it's not in the links, it'll be in the links in like 5 seconds, but I know it's there. So what we did, Denise. Denise does everything for me, I'm clueless. So I'm gonna be real honest, guys, and I'm actually framing mine because I'm too nervous to do this. Another thing that Lori did want me to mention is she doesn't have glass on hers, and Denise doesn't have glass on hers. Well, hers is here, but the reason Lori doesn't want glass on hers is she really likes that texture to show. Everything in Lori's house is very textured. If you look at her books, her quilt books, her cross-stitch designs, everything has a texture, a reason, a design. She's an artist. I, on the other hand, have dirty, sticky kits. So I'm gonna take it and get it framed because I'm too nervous to do it. But I hope that I can at least inspire you to try to do it. And when I get like better at it, I will do it. So we have sticky board. The size of this is 12 by 16. We sell this at Fat Quarter Shop. There's a link in the below, but this is a sticky board. So one side is plain and one side has this paper you can peel off. So what Denise did is she cut this down to the size of the frame. So she just took the black piece, measured it, cut it down. She put down batting, but we use sticky tape instead of glue. So sticky tape is double-sided, and you can put the sticky tape, and she put it on all 4 sides, all the way around the perimeter, and she didn't put any tape in the center. So we use sticky tape, put the batting down. So same exact thing as Lori, the only thing different is we use sticky tape, Lori used Aleene's glue. I'm sure you can use whatever you have in your craft room already. You know, you can be resourceful, you don't have to go out and buy anything, which is the whole point of this, is to not have to really go out and buy anything, or if you have to go out, you just go to like Hobby Lobby. Who doesn't love to go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's? So after she did that, she centers it, we ironed it, all of that. And there's really no way, guys, I could do this on a live stream because I would be shaking and so nervous that I would screw it up. So I'm not trying to cheat you guys, but I'm not gonna mess up somebody's design. And then what we did, Denise, sorry. This is really cool idea. So we took an X-Acto knife and cut about an inch and a half on all 4 sides. And we didn't cut all the way through. And then what you can do is pull. It's very sticky. You just pull, and I'm not gonna pull it all the way off because we're gonna wanna use this, but you pull this off so that only an inch and a half is showing around the edge. Okay? So again, she's got batting. We're gonna put the batting touching the design. We're going to measure the number of squares around, and then you pull it, and you do one side and then the other side. Make sure you like it. With sticky board you can readjust, and then you would do the top and the bottom, and again your corners. You can do them the way that Lori did them, or you can miter them just like this. So that's another option. That's why we're doing this two ways, so you can see you have the freedom to do whatever you want to do. And then we did the same exact thing, sticky board, fabric, batting, except we used sticky tape to put the batting down, and we did the same exact thing here. And one thing that will really help you is if you're nervous about doing your cross stitch, you can do your fabric piece first so that you can get this down. And then you just put it back in, and she'll put a label. You can put a fabric label, you can put a sticker, you can put whatever you want here. So I'm gonna put this back in so at least the set looks pretty. So y'all ask me any questions you have.
Yes, got several.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah, button. There we go. Okay. Calico Hill says, what size is the frame?
12 by 16.
Right. And Holly O'Brien says, I don't have a serger. Is there any other way to any other method to use one for the edges?
So the edges, I used a sewing machine. So I just used a zigzag stitch. Mine is zigzag, and I actually just like literally threw it on the machine, and you can zigzag it. Some people online, I'm a big fan of Reddit, and I'm always on the Reddit thread. Some people say they do a buttonhole stitch by hand. Yeah, no.
Okay. Joanna Shoemaker says, where do you get the sticky board?
At Fat Quarter Shop. Link below in the description. Anything you see here, guys, we have stocked up on. But also, if you do it Lori's way, you don't even have to really buy anything. Because she just used the glue she had at home.
Okay. Cindy Krell says, if you wanted glass, when would you add it?
You would just put so there's a piece of glass we have here that came with the frame. You could just put the glass right in front that came with the frame.
You would need spacers.
Oh, you need spacers.
Because then it's going to be squished to your stitches.
Oh, so you might need spacers. I don't know anything about that, so I'm sorry. I guess you could buy some spacers at a frame store. Just your stitches are not squished. Now when I get mine framed, I'm going to get it framed in this frame, but I am going to get museum glass. And the reason I do that is a lot of the stuff stays out. My house is actually all windows, basically. And my kids touch stuff. I don't want it messed up. It has UV protection. A lot of stuff is displayed at Fat Quarter Shop, and we have a lot of windows in Fat Quarter Shop. And for example, the quilt in the front of the entryway is a Lori Holt quilt, one of my favorite quilts I ever made. It's completely faded, and it's going to stay there for 20 years because I only want one quilt faded. But if I put this in the conference room or in my office and I have UV and I have a museum glass for my framer, it's not going to fade.
Right. Okay. Next question is from Kathy Whip, and we actually had a lot of people asking this. Steam iron or dry?
I would do steam.
Okay. We had a few people in the comments saying dry.
Well, I mean, if you steam, technically your piece could shrink slightly. I'm not going to iron it long enough for it to matter. I'm just like, because I kept mine on a Q-snap the entire time, it's not very wrinkled. This is the one that I did. It is going to take, like, I'm going to spend 20 seconds with that iron. Very little time. So to me, it doesn't matter. But again, everything you do in your life, your stitching life, do what you want to do. You don't have to follow every little book. It's like when you're parenting. Don't read a book. Do common sense. It's the same thing. Just do you. You don't have to, like, you stitch this for 40, 50 hours. Use whatever iron you want to use. Sorry.
Nice. No, you're good. Lane Cermak says, is the sticky board acid free?
Yes.
Perfect. And Candy Kerr says, I use tape on my edge. Could I still do this? I think she meant like the washi tape around the edges instead of stitching it.
You can cut it off.
You could cut it off. If you're going to frame it like Denise did, you can just cut it off. if you're going to lace it, then you would need to cut it off and then zigzag because the lace needs something to hold. And then when you pull it to the back, you can either, you know, leave all of this on or trim it down. You can do whatever, you know, whatever floats your boat.
Have you answered that one? Oh, tip from Lori. She says the Aliens glue that she uses is acid-free. She only uses a little bit, very thin on the edges to hold down the batting, and then she does not use it on her cross stitch.
Right, so it only goes on her batting. No glue ever touches Lori's pieces.
Okay. From Joanna Shoemaker, she says, can you suggest a simple project for someone who has never cross-stitched before?
Yes, any of Lori's stuff. Because, okay, you could take one of her vintage Christmas or her Farm Girl Fall and their little squares, and you could just do one square to start. And using Lori's 10 count is really good because it is big holes and it's good for beginners to just get kind of started, or you want to start with like a 14 count Ada, one of those.
Perfect. And yeah, we had lots of people in the comments saying this was actually their first cross stitch, was Quilter's Cottage.
Yeah, it's very easy, and one thing that was great about this sew along is if you just do a little bit each week, you finish more than you think. It takes longer, but you just do a little bit, you know, if you just have to do a little bit each week, it's like it's achievable, and you can do it and you can move on. You know, if you said, oh, I have to make this in a week, nobody's going to want to do that. So spacing it out, giving yourself time. If you get tired or frustrated, just walk away. Same thing in quilting. If you're having a bad day, just walk away. Come back to it the next day, it'll be better. Because if you're tired, you know, if you're tired, that does affect when you craft.
Okay. Lynn Wynn says, did you frame Farm Girl Fall, and what size frame did you use?
I did frame Farm Girl Fall, and that one does not fit a standard frame. So I had that framed at my framer, and just at a regular framer, or you could turn it into a pillow like the pattern has. I always use a professional framer just because I'm kind of just nervous about finishing stuff.
Okay. Cheryl Murchison says, when will the Land That I Love Floss Pack be in stock?
It's in stock right now, and there's only so many, so click and buy it now before it sells out. We're going to have more in a week. So basically, we're working with the lady who dyes the thread, and so she's sending, and we're packaging, and then she's sending more. So yeah, we have some.
Okay.
And I'm going to go over all the other stuff at the end.
And Holly O'Brien says, remind me, do you remove the Q-snap when not stitching?
I leave it in. I always leave my Q-snap on because it keeps it nice and flat. And I keep everything in like a big tote bag, and I keep a plastic bag on top of it, and that way I can just like grab and go, and I don't have to worry about my kids throwing Starbucks over the back of the seat and, you know, putting cake pop on it or whatever. I always have cake pop sticks in the back of my car. I wonder why. They get cake pops on the way to school every day. It's really, my kids are really spoiled.
That's funny. Maxine Tuchowski says, when will 10 count be back in stock?
June or July.
Okay. From Beth Johnson, she says, sorry to be done, but can you explain the difference in the cloths and the number count? We do cover this in a different video.
So in general, the number of count means the number of squares per inch. So if you've got 10 count, you have 10 squares per inch. If you have 14 count, you have 14 squares per inch. If you have 18 count, you have 18 squares per inch. So the smaller the number, the easier it is. My favorite count is 14 count. My second favorite count is 10 count. I really don't do anything else.
Okay.
I know I'm gonna have to, but I'm gonna fight it.
The last question we have right now is from Patricia Lewis. It is a quilting related question, but she says, hi everyone, was wondering what RFL thread to use for Witch's Night Out. And if you know the answer, we can answer right now, but in the future, if we could keep the questions on here just about cross stitch.
So there should be a thread pack on that, I believe, and if there's not, we can answer that. We'll just answer that later. I don't know off the top of my head the answer. So I'm gonna go on to like other stuff. I'm gonna just set this aside. So, my big announcement is Priscilla and Chelsea will be here next Wednesday on the live stream live. So, it's probably gonna be an extra long live stream. I'm probably expecting it to be an hour and a half or 2 hours because it's gonna be so exciting, and we have a brand new set to reveal. It was made kind of just for them. So, I also wanna say that it's funny because Chelsea always kind of gives jabs to her mom about hiding stuff when she films stuff, and as long as they don't go in the men's bathroom, they won't find what we hid. So we're trying to make it all perfect for them. So that is so exciting. They are doing a sew along right now. The hashtag is PC Land That I Love, and I have started mine, and I am so excited. I have spent oh my goodness. Cross stitch journal. Where'd I put it? Oh, that's how it goes. Who knows what I did with it. I have been keeping track of how many hours, and I'm probably at like 24.
Kimberly, it's under
Oh.
the thread pack.
Oh, right here. So my new cross stitch journal. So let me see if I can get to that page. I'm keeping track, and like I'm running out of space in my thread tracker because I start and stop so much. But I'm trying to finish it before Mania because I just don't like to have a lot of open items. So Mania might put my OCD in overdrive. So I am just using the regular DMC, and I'm using lamb's wool, 14 count. The pattern calls for 16 count. I just like 14 count. And so I'm just using the DMC colors, and all I have left are some blue flowers and the bottom banner. So I'm so excited because I'm actually going to be able to finish in time. So if you want to follow that, it's PC Land That I Love, and also their channel is The Real Housewives of Cross Stitch. So if you don't know them, you want to check out all their videos so you're ready for next Wednesday. And
real quick, Priscilla and Chelsea are in the chat, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we are!" And then they said, "We're so excited."
That's so funny. And Cash is coming, and I'm so excited. So a funny story, because I always divert, is I was watching on Saturday the Priscilla and Chelsea video on the way home from dance, and Emma was like, "Oh, who's this?" And so I was explaining who they are. "Okay, how do they make money?" And I was like explaining how you make money, and I was like, "Well, they kind of do it for hobby." And she's like, "Well, do they work for you?" And I was like, "No, but they're coming to film." And she was like, "Oh, okay." And then she saw the baby, and she was like, "What is that noise?" And I was like, "Oh, that's Cash." And she's like, "What?" She didn't understand that that was the baby. And then he came on the film, and she was like, "Oh, can I meet him?" Like, she didn't care anything about Priscilla and Chelsea. She's like, "What day are they coming? Can I go to dinner? Can I skip dance?" I'm like, "Oh my God, Emma." So I guess Emma wants to meet Cash. So we also have a Land That I Love thread pack that Priscilla Blaine put together. We just put these together this morning. We have 80. So when they're gone, we will have more. And this is the color. So you can see, you can have a lot of freedom in cross stitch. Like, this is the color from Classic Colorworks. I tend to not stray too much from colors because I overthink and I have OCD, and if I change something, I'll just like go over it in my head a million times. So these are Priscilla's colors. And you know, it's always good to do stuff that matches your house. And the cross stitch journal will be shipping late next week. So that's 2 new things. And we have 2 new cloths from Lori. So this is oatmeal, and it's 14 count. So we were able to get this because the 10 count's not available yet, but they were able to make us some 14 count. So if you want her oatmeal and 14 count, we have some. And then she has a 25 count Laguna, and that is a linen. And so that would be the equivalent of 12.5 Aida. So it's doable. So these are new. And then we have some finishes. So this is So She Did. This will be on the Coming Soon page today. So if you want to get on the list to be notified when it comes in, this will be coming out in May. And this will be our very next sew along. So our next I'm going to go over what we're going to be doing in the next couple of live streams right after this. But after that, this is going to be our sew along. This is Denise's version. And this is 10 count Daisy. and DMC?
Yeah. Yeah. Or floss.
Our floss, sorry.
Sorry.
I can't even remember what we do. This is how bad it is. And then mine is here. And you can see we added buttons. So we used the tiny button pack, and then she used some bigger buttons on Denise's. And Lori was so lovely to put the buttons on for me because I don't want to. I was too scared. So mine is 14 count Ada, and I used DMC. So we kind of did like, so you can see the difference. So you have options. And so this is going to be a Lori. This is obviously designed by Lori. It's going to be our next sew along. Super cute. It's going to be on the coming soon page today. And let's see what else I have on my list. Let's see. So next week, again, Priscilla and Chelsea live stream 9 a.m. Central Time on the Fat Quarter Shop FlossTube page. You're not going to want to miss it, even if you're not a quilter, because they're really funny. And yeah. Then the week after, May 1st, I will be in Salt Lake City with Lori filming her quilt book that is coming out, Farm Girl Vintage 2. We're going to do a photo shoot for 5 days. So we will be releasing on that Wednesday, 9 a.m. Instead of a live stream, we're going to film a video with Priscilla and Chelsea showing all of our Mania videos, all of our Mania selections, and that is going to release that Wednesday. And then the week after, we'll figure out. Okay, so this week on our blog, there will be a list of all of my Mania projects that I'm doing, in case y'all are curious, so that if you don't want to wait until the May 1st video, it's there. Cross Stitch Journal is shipping next week. We have 2 new Facebook and Instagrams because we want to keep the quilting and the cross stitch separate. I know my quilters do not want to see cross stitch. I've gotten a lot of complaints, so we're working on that. You know, it's not easy to just whip up a new website. You can't just push a button, couple buttons, and be like, oh, I have a new website. So we're working on that, but for now, I have got an Instagram that is FQSX
Link below.
Link below. And then on Fat Quarter Shop, it's FQS Cross Stitch. So you can follow those pages if you're a cross stitch lover, and that way you don't have, you can see your cross stitch in one space, you can see your quilting in another. And big announcement, we have all 200 plus colors of classic, 252 colors of classic colorworks. So I'm going to kind of show you, I'm going to open this and show you. We are going to have a video soon that shows you how to use this. This is hand-dyed floss, 6-strand. And, you know, some of it has a slight variation of variegation, and some has more. So like this light blue, you can see it goes from light to medium to dark. So some of them have a lot of variegation, some of them don't. This is something that a lot of people use in cross stitch. We are going to have a video with tips on how to work with it, so that if you want to expand your horizons, which is something I need to do. We have this. DMC will be coming, who knows when. They're totally unreliable, sorry. So now I'm ready for questions. I have shown everything, and I'm so excited about everything going on. I'm so excited that you guys are joining me with this cross stitch, because it's really awesome. It gives me another outlet to, I do a lot of sitting, baseball. Oh my gosh, baseball. But tonight, my son is supposed to have a game, and it's supposed to pour down rain, and so I don't think I have to go to baseball tonight. Yay. But anyway, I am kind of sad about that, but it's just hard. He's very like, I'll tell you a funny story. So Sunday, Emma had dance all day. She had it all Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So then we finished. And so I skipped awards and just went and got lunch, came back, got gas so we could go straight to South Austin, which is like an hour away, get to his game. He is so dramatic. He's just like so pumped up. I just need to do like a video of him because it's hilarious. Like he thinks he's like he gets so like into it, and it's like, you need to calm down. Like we're almost like, you need to calm down. It's kind of embarrassing. He's so cute. Okay, so I'm ready for questions.
Perfect. Okay. First question from Sharon R. She says, will you do a tutorial on project bags, really cute ones?
No, we're probably, maybe later. We have a new bag to introduce next week that you guys will love that's already pre-made. So I know that Kia B did a video on project bags, and we can add that to our list of things to do. It would probably be a couple months out.
From Rosetta Gatson, she says, will the So She Did have a thread pack?
Yes.
Okay. And Suzanne Culkin says, sorry if I missed this, is there a mania hashtag? Thanks.
My mania hashtag is FQS Stitch Mania. And I'm going to have a video, so on May 1st through May 31st, 6 p.m. every day, I'm going to have a video of what I can film that day. Now, I want to be honest and tell you that May 1st through the 3rd is pre-recorded because I will be at Lori's house, but I still want to participate. And then when I'm at Quilt Market, I'm going to have to pre-record those because I am going to be at Quilt Market. But we're going to, you know, most of them are going to be that day. And then what we're going to do is first thing when I get here, Lily's going to come in my office, film, and then I'm basically going to stitch for like 2 to 4 hours or whatever, 30 minutes, whatever, and she's going to fast forward it. But I'm going to kind of talk about my goals, because one thing that I think is really good is when you sit down to do a project, you say, okay, I have this goal, because I feel like if you meet your goal or go faster, it gives you like, kind of pumps you up. It's kind of like being your own cheerleader. And so I think that will kind of help you guys like see kind of how I think about things. Like I might start and say, okay, I want to do this. Anyway, I'm having, I think it's going to be great.
All right. Wilma Evans says, how big is the largest sewing cross stitch? The So She Did.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
It fits in a 12 by 16.
Fits in a 12 by 16 inch frame. And then this one I'm gonna have custom framed today. We're gonna go to the framer today, because this one is this one might fit an 8 by 10. I'm not really sure. This is an 8 by 8, so this isn't gonna fit a frame. So we have a frame for this that we'll have a link to Amazon later.
Okay.
And we're gonna frame this one in white, 12 by 16 inch frame, and we're not sure we're going to do this one a totally different color, because that's what Lori and I are all about, giving you options. Do you want to stitch on 10 count, 14 count? Do you want to stitch on DMC? Do you want to stitch on Aurifloss? Do you want to put it in a white frame or an aqua frame? We're always going to show you lots of options, because you should have freedom with your craft. You should do what you love, and you should not like buy something and feel like you have to stick to whatever they say. There are no rules. Do whatever you want. Do whatever fits in your house. Do what inspires you, because you will actually finish it. If you do something because you're on Instagram and you have somebody that you like fangirl and you're like, oh, I gotta make it because she did it, but it doesn't match your house, you're never gonna finish it. So like, don't be afraid to like have people that inspire you, but take it and do your own thing with it, because that's what life is about, is like being yourself and being okay with like what you want.
All right. Okay, Judy Ryder-Ring says, are the Colorworks floss pre-cut?
They are pre-cut, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's why Priscilla really likes them too. And they have 5 yards. They're 100% cotton. They are not color fast, meaning when you finish your project, you cannot wash it because they are dyed, and that dye could run and probably will run. But I never wash my project, so that doesn't really affect what I do.
Denise Lamerrill Eager says, to get started, you need a Q-snap frame, then you trace the pattern on the Ada?
No. So go back to Fat Quarter Shop FlossTube and look at how to cross stitch series, and there's videos 1 through 5. Go through those videos and it will really help you. And if you have questions, you can comment, but definitely no.
Okay, Priscilla and Chelsea say, guess I'll have to start potty training Cash when we're there so I can see the men's bathroom.
No, I'm gonna lock the door. I'm gonna lock the door.
The few men that use the bathroom will be confused.
Yeah, well, we do have men that work here. They just happen to not work upstairs because it's marketing, and most men, we really have very few men who have ever applied. But yes, we have men who work here.
Okay. Sorry, I'm sorting through all the questions. Okay. Ilse Rojas says, can we have the Lori Holt cross-stitch patterns on PDF?
No, sorry.
Annie Jan says, is the So She Did on the What's New website now?
No, it will be on coming soon later today.
Eunice Sanchez says, what size needle does Lori use for 10 count?
She uses her tapestry needles. So if you look at Bee in My Bonnet tapestry needles on Fat Quarter Shop, you will find them, or we can link them below.
Candy Kerr, she said, wanted to let you know that I have so enjoyed learning cross-stitching. It's been a great new hobby. And I've seen in other comments where people are saying they're really thankful for all the tips we're giving. So I just want to give that shout out.
Thank you. Yeah, we're trying our best to like teach you. You know, I sometimes feel like I go out on a limb and say things that maybe aren't perfect or maybe aren't like the 100% way to do it, but it's the way I do it, and I'm okay with that.
All right.
Like, oh, I wanted to say on this, on the land that I love, I did change the, I changed some of the letters, and his face, I just cannot do those French knots. So I'm kind of looking, I don't know what I'm going to do there. Maybe Priscilla will do the French knots, I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave him with no eyes. I just cannot bring myself to do it.
Anda Sendeja says, do you ever grid your work, or can you do a tutorial, please?
So I don't grid my work, and I was going to do a tutorial, but I really don't do it. So I feel like it's not authentic. It's not what I do. I don't think I would be the right person to do that video. I never want to do something that I'm not comfortable with. So I think you should get on YouTube and say how to grid your work. I kind of messed with it. I totally don't think it's needed. I don't think I can do it. And I don't want to give you advice that is completely wrong. And I don't want to do a video just to get hits. That's not what I'm about. That's not what I want to do. And I just thought about it, and I'm sure there's somebody much more talented than me, but it's not, I don't do it. And that's probably why I use 14 count, because I can see it, I'm comfortable with it, I don't need to grid. Some people grid with thread. I did go to the store and get the thread. It's basically clear fishing hook thread. And I hated it. I did it and I thought it left big holes. I didn't like it. I didn't like the outcome. I mean, you could use erasable pen. I'm not comfortable with that either. So after experimenting with it, it's not something that I can recommend, but a ton of people do it. So I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying I'm not the right person for that. And I'm not gonna just do a video just to like do a video. So go and Google it, because there are like a ton of YouTube videos out there, and there are people who do it. So they're gonna know more the correct way, or what works for them or what doesn't work. I don't wanna get on here and lie.
Diane Curran says, any suggestions on the type of chair I should sit in while cross-stitching?
So I sit in any chair. I sit in my car most of the time. I sit in like a recliner or a couch or wherever I have 5 minutes or more that I can open my bag and stitch, anywhere. But most of this, I spent 8 hours sitting in a hotel, in a random hotel lobby with my headphones on and stitched for 8 hours. And I was so lazy that Emma had dance and she had to have lunch at 10:30, and I was like, I'm not hungry, I'm not gonna get up. I even called favor. I didn't move for 8 hours and I got most of this done. So I sit anywhere, I don't care, like anywhere. And I put anywhere, anywhere. But I mean, just wherever you're comfortable. I don't have like a special chair.
Maxime Chukowski says, when will the Sew She Did stitch along begin? After Mania?
Yeah, it will start sometime in late May or early June. Preferably late May.
Chris E says, since there's only about 1.5 inches on each side of the Be Thankful kit, will I need to do something to add more to the sides for framing?
No, that's plenty. No. And that one is so pretty, I can't wait. I'm hoping that we have room on our new set, which is like right over there, to put it up, because I love it. It's in my office and it's just like needs more. It needs a little bit extra special than my stupid office.
Lori says, Kimberly, bring your land that I love when we film and I'll do your eyes.
Oh, yes. Don't let me forget, Lily.
I won't.
Yes, I am. Yes. Lori, you know, I can't tell you how many times I've sent stuff to Lori. I didn't even think about that. Lori's daughter, and well, Lori too, but Lori's like so busy. I don't want to ever ask her to do anything. But Lori's daughter, one time I really wanted this embroidery done. It wasn't cross stitch, it was like embroidery. And I was like, it was for her book, Great Granny Squared. And she has in there like a flower basket that needs like some embroidery, and I didn't want to do it. And she was like, oh, just send it to me. And her daughter did it. And oh my gosh, her daughter should just become an embroiderist. Yeah, so yeah, that's a great. Yes.
Yeah.
I have some other things I might bring too.
Rach said hashtag friend goals for you guys.
Yes.
Anna Sendeja says, what size Q-snap are you using for the Liberty project? Which is
This is 8 by 8, isn't it? 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 11 by 11. So this is 11 by 11. On this one, I used 11 by 17. On the small cottages, I use 6 by 6. I have a bunch of them. I have too many Q-snaps.
And Marietta Beatsich says, have you ever used perforated paper cross stitch?
So in my Mania, I picked one that I'm going to do perforated paper. I've never tried it, and the first time I try it, it is going to be on film. So if it's a disaster, y'all are going to see it firsthand. It is going to be on, let me look at my book. It is going to be on May 17th. So on May 17th, I'm going to try perforated paper, and we are going to see. And if it's a disaster, I'm just going to say it's a disaster. I saw some, oh, I did go last week. I should have talked about this last week. We got stuck in Vegas. And so we didn't have anything to do Thursday morning, and Lily doesn't gamble, and I was like, yeah, let's just go to Stitcher's Paradise. So there's a cross-stitch store in Vegas called Stitcher's Paradise, and they had awesome stuff. It was great inspiration to look at how they used variegated thread on pumpkins. They had a lot of perforated paper there that I hadn't seen. They had a lot of frames. They had a lot of fabric. They had a lot of everything, and we were there like maybe 2 hours. Yeah, that's a great store if you ever want to go to like a needlework store and you're in Vegas, like maybe your husband gambles or whatever. It was great. I was there at least 2 hours. And it looked, you know, I kind of looked at it. I think I'll be fine, but we'll see. We're going to find out on May 17th. And if it's a bust, it's a bust, whatever. I'm not afraid to say, I'm not afraid to start a project and just be like, oh, I'm not doing it. I'm not afraid to do it.
Okay, and last question we have here from Karen. She says, what is the name of the gray fabric on the back of the framed Quilter's Cottage pieces?
We'll link it below. It is from Farm Girl Vintage. And we have plenty in stock because we made sure we had plenty in stock. And I guess you would need about half a yard, something like that. So great, guys. Check us out next Wednesday with Priscilla and Chelsea. We're so honored that they are coming. And follow us on our brand new social media channels that are linked below. Follow us on this YouTube channel, and please give us a thumbs up so we can get more subscribers. And I will see you guys on Friday on my quilting channel, which is the Fat Quarter Shop YouTube channel, and y'all have a great week.